Let's get busy putting this super easy recipe together. We're gonna need some pizza sauce, garlic, Italian seasoning, some jumbo biscuits, mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, Parmesan cheese, and some butter. We're gonna take our biscuits and cut them in half, and then we're gonna roll each half into a circle. Next, just roll or shape the little half biscuits into little circles. Now just put down a little bit of sauce, 1 piece of pepperoni, some mozzarella cheese on top. You could use grated or little cuts of cheese, and another pepperoni. Now we'll pinch up the sides. It's easiest to pull up the sides and then pinch them closed. If you find your dough is sticky, just go ahead and put some flour down on your cutting board and on your rolling pin. You can fill these little pizza balls with anything you like. You could put some pulled pork and some barbecue sauce. You could put some taco meat and cheddar cheese. There are so many delicious options you could make. Now that all of the little pizza balls are on the tray, just like little dumplings, it's time to brush them with melted butter, Italian seasoning, and garlic. We'll just heat our butter in the microwave. We'll just add our garlic in, stir up the butter, and we're gonna add our Italian seasoning. Mix that into the butter, and we'll brush this wonderful buttery sauce right over the top. Now that we have the butter on, we can go ahead and add our Parmesan cheese. Just sprinkle it right on the top. After 18 minutes, I took the wonderful little pizza balls out of the oven. It smells like a pizzeria bakery in my house. And here's how the wonderful, delicious little pizza balls turned out. I have some pizza sauce for dipping as well. They're perfect for a football appetizer party. For our next recipe, we're gonna drain a can of artichoke hearts. We'll just chop these artichoke hearts up into smaller pieces. I'm just gonna lightly spray the inside of these slow cookers so that nothing sticks. They'll be much easier to clean that way. Let's get busy putting the spinach artichoke dip in the slow cooker. Cream cheese, we're gonna put in the cottage cheese, and I have salt and pepper here, and I have grated Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese. We're gonna put our drained and cut up artichoke hearts, and now we're gonna put in our spinach. I have about a cup to cup and a half of torn spinach leaves. We'll just put these right on top. I have the slow cooker on low, and this will take about 3 hours in the slow cooker. We'll come back and stir it about every 30 minutes. Don't forget to check on your spinach artichoke dip and meatballs every so often. Make sure you stir them up really well. I have a 32-ounce bag of pre-made meatballs, and I'm gonna add a whole can, juice and all, pineapple chunks, and barbecue sauce. Just pour the meatballs right into the slow cooker. And now for the barbecue sauce. You can use any kind of barbecue sauce that you like. Once you get your barbecue sauce in, it's time to put in our last and final ingredient, pineapple chunks and juice. This recipe couldn't be any easier, and my friends request it every Christmas holiday when I have my annual Christmas party. The slow cooker is on low, and we're gonna leave it on for 4 hours. We're gonna make a beautiful edible salami flower with this little glass. You just take the salami and push it right down in the middle, and then you just fold it over the edge, and you just continue folding until you have a beautiful, lovely flower. Just go all the way around and fold the salami down over the outside. Try to get all of the edges close to the same length. Once you get that done, it's time to just turn it over and remove the glass. And we have a lovely flower to garnish our food plate. We need to make sure we have something to dip our spinach artichoke dip with. So I'm gonna take just some regular tortilla shells, and I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil on, and then I'm gonna take some seasoning, and I'm gonna spread this on. You could use garlic powder, onion powder, anything that you like. And I'm gonna cut these tortillas into some triangles. I'm gonna bake these at 350 until they're crispy and golden. And off to the oven. Our little baked tortilla chips just came out of the oven. They smell wonderful. They're gonna be perfect for our spinach artichoke dip. Let's get started on this recipe. I have all my cheese sticks laid out. I have my egg. I mixed a little water in here and just beat this up with a fork. I have some flour and some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. The first thing we're gonna do is get busy and get our cheese sticks into the flour. We're just gonna roll them in the flour. Make sure you touch the ends in there and get a little flour on the ends. This just keeps them from sticking once you get the egg mixture on. All of the cheese sticks are successfully rolled in the flour, and now we're gonna take them one at a time. We're gonna dip them in the egg mixture. Just roll it around, get it coated, then shake it off, put it in the breadcrumb mixture, and take a different utensil and just lightly roll it in the panko breadcrumbs. Then we're gonna put it back in the egg mixture, roll it around very lightly and carefully so we don't knock our breading off. And once we get that done, we'll put it back in the panko breadcrumbs and coat it again. Okay, now we'll just take this and put it back on our tray. Look how crumbly and crunchy that looks. Our breaded cheese sticks are all ready to go in the freezer. I just took the mozzarella cheese sticks out of the freezer. They've been in almost 2 hours. I'm going to get them deep fried as soon as I have the oil at 350 degrees. I have my oil on. I have about 1 inch of oil, and I'm just going to keep checking it with my thermometer until it reaches 350. I have a big set of tongs here that I'll be able to use to maneuver the cheese sticks around in the hot oil. It'll be great to pick them up and put them in, and also to take them out. I have a tray here lined with 2 pieces of paper towel. This will soak up all the extra oil once the cheese sticks are deep fried. Our oil is at 350 degrees. I'm going to start taking the cheese sticks, put it in nice and slowly so the oil doesn't splash. I'm only going to do just a few at a time because I don't want to crowd the pan. Once we put in the frozen cheese sticks, it'll take the temperature of the oil down because the cheese sticks are really cold. So I want to keep the oil up to temperature by just putting in a few at a time. It doesn't take very long for the cheese sticks to get golden brown on one side. Go ahead and flip them over. Let them cook on the other side. It's time to take them out and drain them on the paper towel. And as you can see, none of the cheese boiled out because of the nice coating we had on the outside. I hope you give this recipe a try and realize just how easy and how delicious it is. This is one of my favorite appetizers. It's so easy and you can double the recipe without any extra effort. It's a super delicious, tasty pizza bread appetizer. For this recipe, we'll need some pizza or marinara sauce, some pepperoni, some butter, Italian seasoning, mozzarella or Italian blend cheese, and a loaf of beautiful, soft, fluffy bread. We're going to start by cutting this bread. We don't want to cut all the way through, but we want to cut about 3/4 of the way through. And we're going to want these to be in about 1 to 1.5 inch little cubes. We're going to go in one direction and then the other. Now that our bread is cut and you can see it's in nice little cubes, we're going to start filling all of these little areas full of cheese. It's a great idea to go ahead and put your bread loaf on a tray. I have a tray here with foil. We're going to wrap this whole thing up in foil. Now that I have all of the cheese packed in between all of the little grooves, it's time to start putting in some pepperoni. Now it's time to brush on the butter and Italian seasoning. You can add garlic or garlic powder to this if you'd like. Now that it's completely covered with our wonderful buttery mixture, it's time to wrap it in the foil and put it in the oven. We are going to bake this in the oven at 400 degrees. We are going to put this in the preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes. And here is the wonderful stuffed pizza bread right out of the oven. Let's get started on this super easy stuffed mushroom recipe. I just bought a 16 ounce, which is a 1 pound package of mushrooms, and I'll get these cleaned up. To clean our mushrooms, we don't want to dip these underwater and get them soaking wet because then they'll be really heavy and soggy. So I just take a damp paper towel and I just go around and clean off the mushroom. Now that we have the mushrooms all cleaned up, we're just going to take the stems and just pop them off. If you hold the mushroom really snug in your hand and just use your finger and thumb, you can just pop the mushroom the stem right off of there without breaking the mushroom. Let's get this filling mixed up. It doesn't take any effort at all. I put the mushroom stems in the food processor and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, and I have about a tablespoon of parsley, and I'm going to go ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of Italian breadcrumbs, and I have about 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add a tablespoon of chopped garlic, about 2 tablespoons of shredded mozzarella cheese, and I have some sausage left over that I cooked for breakfast, and this is about 4 tablespoons. I'll pour this in and get this mixed up. I'm going to spread just a touch of olive oil. I have my filling all ready to go in this bowl, and I'm just going to use this little scooper, and I'm just going to start scooping a nice tight little ball. I'm going to compact it with this little scooper, but you could use a regular spoon or just use your hand. Get in there and form a nice little ball. I have 12 good-sized mushrooms, and the filling was just the right amount. Now I'm just going to go around and add a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top of each one. I'm going to cover my mushrooms and put them in the refrigerator so they get nice and cold. It's time to put our mushrooms in the oven. Before I do, I'm going to just drizzle each one with a little bit of olive oil. One more step, I'm going to add just a little bit of parsley to give them a little bit of color. I'm going to put the mushrooms in to bake on 400 for 20 minutes.